Today, let's take a dramatic look at some hardcore weapons, shall we? We'll begin with something that I would bet that you didn't even know was on the table. A foreign object, in this case a pen. You could use this to jab your opponent in the eye when the referee isn't looking. Many of us would hide this in a very well thought out place. Ugh. Well, there's not much room down there for me, but I bet you wouldn't have any trouble. Duct tape is one of the most commonly overlooked necessities in a hardcore match. Duct tape your opponent's ankles, his arms together, his eyes shut. Duct tape his mouth. Duct tape your own mouth to try and get inside of his head. Of course, there's always a lead pipe. Many of you prefer yours short and fat. I prefer mine long and skinny. A stick of wood. This almost looks as if someone was trying to turn it into a kendo stick, so I suppose the tape adds authenticity. The authenticity doesn't matter though if you're caning your opponent's back. Authenticity will be the last thing he's worried about. Handcuffs to keep your opponent attached to the turnbuckle so you can teach him a good smart lesson. Of course, we have furries here if you're having that kind of hardcore match. A street sign is always important. Ringside employee parking removed because the owner was fired. Don't ever be afraid to be insane. And here we have thumbtacks. Spread all over the ground and toss your opponent onto them. Use whatever move you prefer. Or as I like to call them, a quick snack. Delicious. Certainly one of the most commonly used items is a 2x4 mid, famous by the great and legendary Hacksaw Jim Duggan. However, in this case, we're just going to use it to and beat some more. A little extra touch, you could add some barbed wire at the top. Now this is PG barbed wire, as you can see, but still just as dangerous. In fact, we have a whole spool of this here. We can maybe shimmy onto the end. Ha ha! This is certainly a wild card depending on what type of show you're attending, but here we have a fan-made collage for one Mankind, Mick Foley, and Cactus Jack, including signature by an overzealous fan looking to really see some violence. So never rule out fan-made objects. And our final and certainly one of, if not the most important weapons for a hardcore match, a steel chair. If there are no rules, this should certainly be included. These are the basics of a hardcore wrestling match. For those of you witnessing such an event, enjoy, but do not take the sacrifices for granted. For those of you foolish enough to step in the ring with me for such an event, you shall have war, and you will pay for your presumptions. Dramatico!